Hey there. So, have you ever had a high-performing employee? I mean, they're really good, right? There's some things that they do like they work like two people or like three people, right? But then there's other things that they do that are horrible, right? I have this one lady. I actually terminated her last week, but it really got me to thinking that how many situations like this happen in other people's businesses. So we have this one role called the sandwich maker, and this lady would kill it. She was like a thoroughbred horse. She would go over there, she'd work like two people, but she constantly broke company policies. She constantly was late. She constantly did things that would irritate us, right? I have a section of these things that I list out. I call them KPIs, key performance indicators. These are certain things that if you don't do these things, then you just don't have the value to the organization. It doesn't matter how good or how fast your hands move. You know, we're in the coffee and donut business, so if you're a great coffee slinger, but you call in sick or you're late, like, what good are you, right? You're not there when we need you. We can't depend on you. So why do we keep punching ourselves in the face and putting you on the schedule, right? So this lady, I kept doing this loop with her over and over and over again. And it reminded me of a movie. There's a movie called Super Pumped. And the guy's name is Travis Kalanick. And he was one of the co-founders of Uber. And when he was building Uber, he had to do a lot of shady things to turn the company into this massive company. And what ultimately happened is he had all these high-performing programmers and people. Like, these guys were attack dogs. They were changing the world, right? They were creating this whole category called ride sharing, and they had to do a lot of things that some were against the law, some broke privacy laws. You know, Apple almost kicked them out of the Apple store like multiple times. They lost whole countries because of the stuff that they were doing. But there was this one line that he said that really stuck with me, and it made me make the decision with this girl, is to build the company, he had to change his standard on his values, right? He had to say, listen, you know, what happened was he had a ton of sexual harassment lawsuits. He had all these people that were suing him because some of these high-performing programmers and these managers, they were, to operate at the level that they were operating at, to do the things that he needed done to bring this company into the billions of dollars a year, that part had to slide, right? They stopped treating people like people. They were shitting on people. They were sexually harassing women. There were lawsuits up the yazoo. And eventually, this is what pushed him out of the company. The fact that, you know, the company hit a certain metric, whatever it was in sales, and then to take it to the next level, they almost had to wipe it clean and call it Uber 2.0 to get it to the next level. You know, once they had all these massive investors on and they went public, and, you know, they had to change the way they operated. But, you know, Travis Kalanick said, to get to here, we had to ignore all this stuff. And this is what I said with this lady. I said to myself, man, Alan, you know, for this lady, you know, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth, sorry, my directional hair is going off. Is it worth all of the other stuff, right? Is it worth her breaking the rules, being late, calling in for those few times that she operates at such a high level? And I thought about it, and I thought about it for a few weeks, and I decided, no, it's not worth me lowering my standard and changing my values and what I'm after. So I had a conversation with her, and we mutual exited her. I let her make the decision, but I could no longer tolerate the other things that came with her. So you either perform at that level and you do the things that the company needs, the things that the company demands from everybody, or it's time for you to move along and maybe go to Panera Bread or somewhere else down the street, or one of the competitors. They can have you. And that's a line that I drew, and I will not lower that standard anymore. So think about, do you do that in your business? Are you willing to let your best person go if they don't hold the line and do the things that you need to do? I hope so, because that's the only way we're going to take this over. Right now, today, the tail is wagging the dogs. Employees are dictating to us what they want to do, and it has to be the other way. I'm not saying we're not fair to people. I'm not saying we have to create a great culture and environment, but there has to be some standards and some accountability